Today, we have with us an engineer who typifies that American capability of converting great ideas into operating mechanisms that can then be turned over, as it were, to the man in the street for safe and proper use and applications. Only Professor John Trump, who is with us today, did not stop there. Now, when you went to MIT, I believe your original intentions, if they may be so described, was to go into electric power types of applications. Is that right?
That's right. I had become interested in the design of electric power machinery. And he has some wild ideas, but I've checked a few of them and they stood up. For 6 weeks I decided they were plausible and reasonable, and I abandoned the design of electric machinery and began studying the insulation of high voltages in vacuum and the acceleration of heavy particles to high energies.
The media misinterpretation and omission of accurate information further complicates the situation. It is from this vantage point of the human dilemma that the cognizant ground crew can understand their fellow inhabitants. Each can remember when they were just as unaware and uninformed about the current world circumstances. Once the distortion is acknowledged, then it becomes apparent that somehow a clearer image of what is really true is necessary in order to begin to change the momentum that is threatening to steamroll what progress has influenced and motivated the desire for real freedom to consciously evolve. While these comparatively few endeavor to reach out and inform their friends, relatives, and associates, it is their intent to do this that brings about the results. Their intent draws to them appropriate contacts and situations that allow for these important exchanges of information. This permits each to comprehend their own new picture of what they are able to perceive. Both emotional and logical constraints influence the understanding that each then use as a basis for further interpretation of information. These either extend or limit the newly identified picture. By comprehending that a false and distorted representation has been purposefully overlaid to cover the true situation, what becomes important is the decision as to what to do about this revelation. It is easiest to just play the waiting game and watch what happens. There is a difference between watching and observing. Watching indicates a total withdrawal that has no intentional reason for becoming aware other than curiosity. Observing is done for the reason of using the knowledge gained for an intentional purpose. While the ground crew is encouraged to cultivate the practice of being in the observer mode, it is also important that it be understood that this is not an inactive role. I repeat, this is not an inactive role. The keen observer is cognizant of the scene and his or her place within it, as well as how it coincides with previously known information and its effect on the larger known aspects of the current reality. The keen observer is cognizant of the scene and his or her place within it, as well as how it coincides with previously known information and its effect on the larger known aspects of the current reality. There will, in times to come, be opportunities to make appropriate input to situations that will change the total outcome of an entire well-planned event. Just as removing a pin will cause the failure of a vital piece of equipment, a simple, logical statement can change an attitude of perspective that affects how or if a person will act within a given situation. As has been mentioned before, accepting one logical statement into one's belief system can cause a total realignment of that belief system. In a moment of realization, the entire picture of understanding can change. The ground crew is critical to the pattern of manifestation that is intended. Without the spreading of the word by the ground crew, little would be done to contribute to this segment of the puzzle. What may seem like a small contribution toward changing a very large picture of evil intent must be seen within its true perspective. There are many involved in the creation and perpetuation of the design to enslave. Many knowingly or unknowingly contribute little but cooperation or deliberate acquiescence to the plan. Thus it is that through many holding the deliberate intention that they will do whatever seems appropriate when the opportunity to do so arises, will offset the energy contributed to the plan of subjugation. It is necessary to understand that this is a form of balancing the inputs that are made. Whatever each is willing to contribute to the changes that are essential contributes to the experiences that are required to complete the duration of this scenario. A proportion of humans must gain the required wisdom to move through this current situation. It is essential that what is planned be acknowledged and understood. But it is also fundamental to success to keep the focus on what is desired, rather than becoming fixated on the situation as it is, or as it could become if not changed. The inability to change the momentum toward enslavement is the deception that is being pushed upon the human awareness by every means possible. It is imperative that the ground crew realizes that self-aware consciousness is not powerless when it understands how the universal laws operate. This is the reason that this knowledge has been deliberately withheld and hidden beneath layers of deception for the period of generations covering thousands of years. Intuitional understandings of the application of the laws are brainwashed from those that have this ability. It is literally stolen from them by parents and others of influence because it is against what they believe to be true. Thus, the plan is self-perpetuated by humanity itself for those who resonate with this cause, this mission. It is fundamental to understand that at the moment the flow is moving in the direction of completion of the plan for enslavement. And it is vital that the intention to change this becomes the turning point within this flow. It is literally necessary to cause this flow to bend in midstream and change directions toward the creation of the new paradigm of experience for all life on this planet. At the foundation of this change is the intention to do this. All power is motivated and energized by intention. One can try to do something, but unless there is the intention to do it, nothing will happen. One can try to lift a weight, but only real intention allows it to happen. Thus, it is a ground crew with true intention that will cause the energy to turn toward what they truly intend. Going with the flow is the line of least resistance. To cause the flow of experience to change directions will entail a period of chaos within the established current, during which the aqueous movement will become confused. The intention must be held firmly within the consciousness of many in order that it can change the direction. It is not necessary that the curve be 180 degrees in the beginning, but a diversion away from the original goal. However, the 180 degrees must be an intended accomplishment, or through loss of focus it could be diverted back again. This has been the history of past accomplishments by humans of previous generations. However, those of the more recent past have not had the ability to communicate and share because of technology and the overwhelming numbers of humans present. This allows a degree of anonymity for this objective that is truly advantageous. There is no better period of time to use it to greater benefit.